Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that really tries to cut through all the noise, look at the different sources, and pull out what really matters for you.
That's the goal. No fluff, just the useful stuff.
Exactly. And today we're doing a deep dive into the life of a trucker. I mean, it's demanding, it's unpredictable sometimes, but there's that real independence too, right? Out on the open road.
It's a unique world, for sure. Constant challenges, shifting rules, unexpected dangers.
And our mission today, like always, is to empower you, the driver. We want to help you navigate what's happening right now, maybe see what's coming down the pike, and, build a more secure future.
It's about asking, what does real independence look like today? Especially when the ground rules seem to keep changing.
Yeah. So we'll be connecting some dots between stories that might seem unrelated at first, pulling out some maybe surprising facts, and giving you practical takeaways you can actually use.
We've looked at recent news, industry analysis, stuff focused on trucker well-being and planning for the long haul.
Okay, so let's get into it. When we talk about the day-to-day realities, the immediate concerns, parking is always near the top of that list, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a constant headache. Drivers burning hours every single day, just trying to find a safe, legal spot. It's like foundational.
And it hits everything, your HOS, your stress levels, your safety, your wallet. But there's some interesting news on this from Ohio.
Yeah. What's happening there?
So the Ohio Department of Transportation, ODOT, they've just announced a big plan. They're aiming to add 1,400 new commercial truck parking spots across the state.
Wow, 1,400. That's a decent number for one state. Whereabouts?
On the major routes, I-70, I-75, I-80-90, basically hitting those key freight corridors. They're using a mix of state, federal money, even some private partnerships.
Okay, so why is this such a big deal for drivers on the ground?
Well, think about it. Fewer HOS violations, right? Because you can actually find a legal spot to stop. More rest means less stress, better focus, safer driving. Plus, sources say the average driver wastes, 30 to 45 minutes a day just searching for parking? Imagine getting that time back.
That adds up incredibly fast. That's hours every week.
And of course, safety. Avoiding those sketchy, unlit spots where you or your rig could be vulnerable.
It really does underscore how critical basic infrastructure is for this industry. It's a good step, Ohio's move. But, drivers are reacting kind of how you'd expect.
A mix. Hope and skepticism.
Exactly. You've got guys like Ryan, an OTR driver from Dayton, saying, this is what we've been begging for, about time.
Yeah.
Really positive.
Okay.
But then you hear from Terry, an owner-op out of Cincinnati, who's worried they'll just spend it all on fancy smart parking signs and not actual pavement.
The tech versus tarmac concern. Yeah.
And another driver, anonymously, just said, heard it before. Let's see how many spots are actually open next year. Which is fair, There's history there.
That caution is definitely understandable. Past promises haven't always panned out.
They haven't. And look, while Ohio's plan is good news, and groups like the ATA and OIDA are cautiously optimistic, hoping other states follow the hard truth is we need like 10 times more spots nationwide for the 3.5 million drivers out there.
10 times? Wow.
Yeah, so it's a start, but this parking crisis isn't solved overnight. Drivers should see it as positive, sure, but keep pushing in other states. And interestingly, we hear drivers talking more about managing their own time better. Using that off-duty time smarter, maybe learning something new, not just losing it to the parking hunt.
That's a good point. Okay, so from the daily struggle of parking, let's shift gears now, unfortunately, to something much more severe. A stark reminder of just how dangerous the road can be. There was a really tragic incident in Ohio recently.
Yeah, that one was sobering. Really makes you stop and think about the risks involved every single day.
It does. It was a fatal crash, multiple commercial vehicles, major interstate. One CDL driver died right there at the scene.
Horrible.
And another needed an emergency leg amputation on site. What really struck me was that reports said it wasn't like reckless driving or anything, just a freak accident, the kind that could happen to anyone.
And the descriptions were awful. Twisted steel, crushed cabs, diesel everywhere. Just a nightmare scene.
From a driver's perspective, that is the absolute worst-case scenario, isn't it? Your life, your career changed or ended in an instant, maybe through no fault of your own.
And for the families. I mean, funerals or years of rehab, emotional trauma, the ripple effects are huge.
And the industry. Companies review safety, sure, But often, real big changes only seem to happen after lawsuits, which feels backwards.
Shouldn't take that, no.
So this awful event, it really begs the question, doesn't it? What can every single driver take away from this to try and protect themselves, protect their future?
Yeah, I think there are 5 really crucial takeaways here, going beyond just the basic safety checklist. First, and this is key, never assume routine means safe.
Explain that a bit more.
It's about the psychology, right? When you're comfortable doing the same run, your brain can actually filter out potential warning signs. You get false sense of security. Most terrible accidents happen on familiar routes, not crazy new ones.
Okay, so fight the complacency. What's second?
Second, your truck is both a weapon and a potential coffin. That steel cage protects you, but it can also trap you. You need an emergency game plan in your head. Know your escape routes, how you'd brace, what you do in those first critical seconds.
That's intense, but necessary. And you mentioned the leg injury specifically.
Right, that's the third takeaway.
Right.
Leg protection is critical but rarely discussed. Think about the dashboard, the pedals, the force in a front impact. Your lower body is incredibly vulnerable. A serious leg injury can end your career, even if you survive.
Something drivers need to be more aware of. Okay, number 4.
Fourth, accidents don't just kill, they change lives forever. Survivors face physical injuries, PTSD, crushing medical debt, maybe losing their CDL. This screams the need for really good insurance, especially long-term disability, and crucially, having a backup plan if driving is suddenly off the table.
And that backup plan idea really ties into the bigger theme we're exploring today, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Which brings us to number 5. Time off the road matters, and you need to use it strategically. Don't wait for burnout or an accident to think about life after trucking. This tragedy is a brutal reminder to proactively build a side hustle, learn new skills, have an exit strategy ready before you need it.
So using that downtime not just to rest, but to invest in your future options.
Exactly. Your ability to earn with your mind, not just your miles. That's real self-protection. That's a lifeline.
Incredibly sobering points. Okay, shifting from a tragic accident to another really shocking incident, this one out of Pennsylvania. The shooting. This exposes a different kind of raw nerve in the industry, doesn't it?
It really does. It brings some systemic issues, things that have been simmering under the surface, right out into the open.
So this was the story, as reported, of a newly hired CDL driver allegedly shooting her manager. The dispute, allegedly over 2 years of delayed pay from a previous contract with the company.
Yeah, the confrontation happened right in the trucking office. Turned violent.
And the key here is, this isn't just some random, isolated event. It throws a harsh spotlight on these potential systemic failures. Drivers waiting weeks, sometimes months, for pay they're owed. Companies may be relying on handshake deals that just fall apart. The sheer difficulty some drivers face getting paid after a contract ends.
When people feel trapped, ignored, disrespected, especially when it's about their livelihood, emotions can run incredibly high.
Absolutely. So looking at the different perspectives here, from the driver's viewpoint, if she was truly owed that much back pay and felt like she had no other recourse, you can see, not justify, but see how someone might reach a breaking point.
Though violence is never, ever the answer. For the manager, well, who knows? Maybe they inherited this mess. Maybe they were just the face of a bigger company problem, taking heat for someone else's broken promises, possibly.
And the company, it's a complete nightmare. Legal disaster, PR catastrophe.
And for the industry as a whole, it's another black eye, isn't it? A reminder that if you let issues of neglect, maybe exploitation, just fester, they can explode in really devastating ways.
So it raises that really important question. How do we stop situations from getting this extreme? How do we make sure drivers feel respected, supported, and paid fairly and on time?
Comes back to empowerment, doesn't it? Giving drivers the knowledge and the tools to protect themselves rather than just hoping things work out. Taking proactive steps.
So what does this mean for you, the driver listening right now? What are the practical things you can do?
Okay, 5 key takeaways from this, I think. To protect yourself, your career, your future. First, get absolutely everything in writing.
No more handshake deals.
None. Contracts, emails detailing pay rates, schedules, agreements, save it all. That's your ammunition if things go sideways. Your proof.
Makes sense. What's next?
Second, do not let rage ruin your future. Even if you are 100% in the right, morally justified in being furious, violence turns you from a potential victim into a felon. Your driving career is over. Your life is shattered.
Find other avenues. Which leads to number 3.
Exactly. Third, use the law, not
Yeah.
violence. Company won't pay. Report them. File a wage complaint with the Department of Labor. Use small claims court. Yeah, the legal system can be slow, frustrating, I get it. But it exists for this reason. Use it.
Good advice. Keeps you out of serious trouble and keeps you working. Number 4.
Fourth, know when to walk away. If a company burns you once, don't go back thinking they've changed. Learn the lesson, document what happened, and move on. Find a better company. There are plenty out there.
Don't get caught in a cycle.
Yeah.
And finally,
And finally, number 5, and this echoes what we said earlier, build that backup plan relentlessly. When your entire life hangs on that next paycheck from one source, you are incredibly vulnerable. Stack skills, learn how to make money online, have options. Because no company, ultimately, is going to look out for your finances, your peace of mind, your legal standing, or your future like you can look out for yourself. That's on you.
all right, let's shift gears now and look at some of these bigger industry forces, the shifts that are shaping the future of trucking and impacting your job security, your finances. We saw a pretty stark warning sign recently with the Carroll Fulmer logistics shutdown.
Yeah, that one sent some quiet ripples, maybe even tremors, through the industry. It wasn't loud, but it was significant.
Exactly. Carroll Fulmer Logistics. I mean, a 70-year-old family-owned company, 400 trucks. They just quietly stopped operating. No big public announcement, no bankruptcy filing immediately, just gone.
And that tells you something important. Even established, seemingly reputable carriers aren't immune to what's happening in the freight market right now.
So the likely culprits are probably the usual suspects we hear about.
Almost certainly. High diesel costs that just won't quit, freight rates that have been in the basement, rising insurance premiums, just razor-thin margins. The pressure is immense.
And what's fascinating here, you said, is how clearly this underlines that ongoing freight recession. Just too many trucks chasing not enough loads.
Precisely. And think about it from different angles. From the driver's seat, reports say many Fulmer drivers got little or no warning. Suddenly scrambling, bills piling up, maybe stuck somewhere with a half-finished load.
That's brutal.
Inside the office, insiders probably saw signs, maybe freight volume dipping, bonuses getting delayed, general belt tightening, and other carriers. They look at this and think, okay, more shutdowns are probably coming, especially for fleets heavily reliant on that volatile spot market.
It's a harsh reality check, isn't it? A 70-year-old company, 400 trucks, just vanishes with barely a headline.
It is. So what's the real takeaway here for you, the driver listening? How do you shield yourself from something like this?
Yeah, what's the lesson?
The big lesson is this. Nobody is too big or too established to fail in today's trucking climate. Don't assume loyalty or a company's long history guarantees your job security. It just doesn't anymore.
So what should drivers do?
You need to audit your own situation right now. Do you have enough savings to weather a sudden job loss? Do you have a second income stream already going, or are you actively building one? Get serious about figuring out your next step before your company sends that unexpected shutdown text.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Exactly, and learn how to monetize skills beyond driving. Seriously, consider things like AI tools. They're more accessible than you think. Specialized dispatching, maybe consulting, based on your years of experience, creating content, other remote services. The game is changing. Smart truckers are adapting by diversifying how they earn.
Diversification as a form of security.
Okay.
Another big industry shift that's been constantly debated is the whole push towards electric trucks, especially that federal GHG3 rule. But there's been a pretty major development there, too, offering maybe a bit of breathing room.
Yes. Definitely a welcome pause for many in the industry. And honestly, it shows that industry advocacy can actually work sometimes.
So the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, just announced they're repealing that mandate. This was the rule pushing for a really rapid mandatory shift to electric Class 8 trucks as part of the government's climate goals.
And it was a huge deal, right?
Yeah.
Because the cost of those EV trucks is astronomical right now. Plus, where are the chargers? And how does the downtime for charging fit into long-haul schedules? It just wasn't practical yet for most operations.
And the American Trucking Associations, the ATA, they actually teamed up with the EPA on this, highlighting those gaps between the regulation and the reality on the ground. Kind of a rare alliance there.
Yeah, it was significant. If you connect this to the bigger picture, it's a win for trucking in that sense.
Yeah.
It shows the voices of working drivers, small businesses. They can be heard when the facts are presented clearly.
So what does this mean for drivers practically?
It buys time. That's the main thing. Instead of scrambling to comply with a mandate that might have bankrupted smaller operators, there's more time now to plan and adapt as the technology matures and the infrastructure hopefully gets built out.
It feels like common sense prevailing a bit.
In some ways, yeah. Innovation is good, but forcing it before it's ready, before it's affordable or practical, that doesn't help anyone. This kind of refocuses the conversation on finding real solutions like truly reliable EVs, a proper national charging network, maybe financial incentives that actually help carriers adopt the tech when it makes sense, instead of just burdening them.
And what are drivers themselves saying about this repeal? What's the word on the street, so to speak?
Relief, mostly. Company drivers were worried about software glitches, getting stranded with no chargers. Owner-operators kept saying things like, look, I'm not against EVs, but I can't afford to be the guinea pig here. My livelihood's on the line. And yeah, sure, environmental groups are disappointed. They see it as slowing climate progress. But most drivers seem to agree with the basic idea. Don't ask us to shoulder the entire burden of saving the planet if the tools aren't ready, affordable, and practical.
So what does this all mean for your future planning?
Okay, so while the repeal is a win, it buys you time, right? But that larger push toward electrification, it's not disappearing forever. It's more like a reality check pause.
So don't get complacent.
Exactly. Smart drivers, smart fleet owners, they should stay informed about EV developments, absolutely. But more importantly, use this time gained wisely. Explore those side hustles we talked about. Build up savings. Create flexibility in your life and finances. Use this breathing room not to relax, but to plan strategically for future regulations, future tech shifts, whatever comes next. Be ready.
Okay. We've covered a lot today. The daily challenges like parking, those shocking incidents that remind us of the risks, the big industry shifts like company shutdowns and EV mandates, and how all these stories really do impact your life directly. So let's try and bring it all together. What's the ultimate lesson here? What's the path forward for you?
That really is the crucial question, isn't it? How can you, as a driver, actually take control of your future in an industry that is, let's face it, inherently unpredictable?
Yeah.
The core message, and this is something really championed by resources like lifeacetrucker.com and retirefromtrucking.com, is about helping truckers achieve genuine independence, getting out when you choose to on your terms.
So it's not just about surviving the day-to-day, but building towards something more.
Exactly. It's about building options. And the solution we focus on is training truckers, as many as possible, on how to spot the skills they already have, how to learn new ones, especially using accessible tools like AI, and how to use all that to create extra recurring streams of online income.
Online income, how does that help specifically?
Well, think of it like a shield, right? It protects you from some of those wild swings in freight rates, the ups and downs of the economy. If you have money coming in online consistently, month after month, it helps you retire when you decide you're ready.
Taking back control of the timeline.
Yes. And it softens the blow, maybe protects you entirely if your trucking company suddenly disappears, like Carroll Fulmer did. It provides resilience, real security.
And that idea connects right back to everything we've discussed today, doesn't it? From the small stuff to the big disruptions.
Perfectly. Let's connect those dots explicitly. Remember those Ohio parking issues?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe parking gets a bit better. You save 30 minutes a day. Great. Reinvest that saved time in learning a new skill for online income. Optimize your off-duty hours for your future, not just recovery.
Makes sense.
That tragic Ohio crash. It's a brutal, direct call to build that side hustle, that exit strategy, before something terrible happens. Your income cannot solely depend on your physical ability to sit in that driver's seat. The Pennsylvania shooting and the Carroll Fulmer shutdown both scream the need for a backup plan, personal savings, and ways to make money beyond driving. Loyalty to a company's legacy. Sadly, those aren't guarantees anymore.
Right.
And even the EV mandate repeal, that time gained isn't free time, it's planning time. Use it to prepare for future rules, future tech, by diversifying your income now, making yourself less vulnerable to those external forces.
So it boils down to empowering actions for drivers. Managing your time differently, maybe, not just for the shippers and receivers, but for yourself.
Precisely that. It's about being intentional with your off-duty hours. Learn new skills, practical AI applications, specialized dispatching, creating content about your life on the road, offering remote services based on your experience. The goal is to build those online income streams. Why? For real financial security, real flexibility. So you always have a backup plan, an exit strategy, something that protects your money, your mindset, your legal footing, and ultimately your future.
What's really fascinating here is how all these different stories, these different pieces of news, from parking spots to company closures to horrific accidents, they all seem to circle back to this one really powerful idea: self-empowerment.
Hmm.
It's about building a life where you feel respected, where you feel supported, not just because someone else decides to do it, but because of your own foresight, your own adaptability, your own efforts.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing your true value isn't just measured in the miles you drive. It's measured in your ability to adapt, to keep learning, and to proactively secure your own future, no matter what curveballs the industry or the road throws your way.
So just to recap, we've looked at the daily realities you face out there, the major industry shifts that are impacting careers right now, and hopefully this empowering message about building diversified income and always, always having a backup plan.
Key takeaways for navigating today's trucking world.
Absolutely. And if you want to learn more about actually building that online income, preparing for life beyond the wheel, or just finding broader tools and support from the trucking community, definitely check out retirefromtrucking.com and lifeasatrucker.com.
Great resources, really practical stuff there.
Yeah. So we'll leave you with this thought. In an industry that is constantly changing, constantly throwing challenges your way, maybe the ultimate freedom isn't just found on the open road itself. Maybe it's found in the options you create for yourself off the road. Are you driving towards someone else's destination, or are you truly charting your own course?